This week we have been harvesting pretty steady. We've had pretty minimal problems, hardly any problems actually this week. It's just been smooth and beautiful weather here. We had a little cool front and a shower come through early yesterday morning. The air is cool outside, makes everybody happy, and the corn's pretty decent for a drought season. So overall, we're in a good mood here this week.
What's up? Where you been?
Iowa.
What time you came back?
What are you up to?
Not much. Went and got everybody's food, and I guess we're about to start cutting. Hopefully.
Well, they're out there shooting some stuff for Hudson, the John Deere dealer. So I'm waiting around, waiting for harvest to get going again. So here we are, another week, another day.
So he's just giving us the weight off the scales because the scales at the shop are broken.
This semi kind of sucks, in my opinion. Everybody's gonna make fun of me because it's automatic, but it is what it is. It gets the job done. These roads are super small and super rough. That's what this kid right here, he's like probably 17 or 18, and he just got a job with Mike Soper. And he's been nervous as heck about meeting us on this road. He keeps calling me, wanting me to tell him when I'm coming, which I understand. It's super, super skinny. Like he had his puppy dog with him today. I don't know why they didn't repave the whole road. They only repaved half of it.
Where are you looking at it is? If you're going to yep, somewhere between Cabin driveway and the main way. After the corn stalk there, like on the grass.
You just got to pick out individual words and put it together. That's what I always do. You should hear Homer trying to talk on there. He like spits in the mic or something. I always have to call him to see what he says.
The roads get a little bit shorter every time.
Like about what's going on in the world and stuff like that. Homer, he really don't care too much about what's going on. Walk over here to get our moisture sample. We ain't moved our moisture tester in our field yet. I hope I was 54 and 160 or something like that.
All right, so what's the moisture at?
22.0.
And what are we aiming for usually?
I think it's like 17 is what they wanted coming out of the dryer as, but I don't really know, to be honest with you. almost made a huge mess. Yeah. It don't take as much as a master mover will. They don't build like a when you go to Florida, you know them like screened in things they have around their pools?
Yeah.
That's what he needs for his pool. I know it's gotta be full of those little red fuzzy things right now. One year they tried selling it to like someone or even giving it away to somebody that would like feed it to their sheep or goats.
Yeah.
That's basically all it is like a cornmeal. A lot of people that see them little red fuzzy things in there and they think that's just all that it is. Which it is probably 50% red fuzzies, but it's free. If I had sheep or goats or something, I'd take it. Really wants to like, that's one reason I went to the job, got that job at the mill for a little while. Neil really wants you to succeed, so does Lynn. They both, like, I don't know, it's hard for me to say, I'm not real good with words. They both really want everyone to do good. Whether, you know, like for say you leave the farm, that's what you think will be good and that's where you're gonna make the most money and be happy. So, way to go about life, really. It's always worrying about money, then you're never gonna be happy. You know what I'm saying?
What's this up here, Neil?
What is it?
Got some cab corn?
Major cab corn.
Wow, Neil, I didn't know it was going to rain today.
Cab corn shower. Rows are too long. Novice operators here. 95 degrees burns white mold up, I think.
Yeah.
Just picking away. Really long rows right now, so the trucks have been keeping up pretty good, but I noticed that the last time we were down through there, one was just pulling up about the time we were loaded, so I wouldn't doubt if sometime today we don't have a truck problem. We got a part-time driver, Kenny, that says he won't be on YouTube, but maybe you'll get to see him on here. Comes in about 3 o'clock and trucks for us in the afternoon, so if we do get little short trucks here in an hour or two, hopefully Kenny will be here on the scene and assist us out a little bit. So until then, we'll just have to make do. But he told me the other day, he said, I don't want a truck, but if I have to, I'll make a load or two. But I'll believe it when I see it, actually. Homer is, I think, dumped one too many in his life, and that's probably his most hated job now, is trucking. So Homer's been here 50 years nearly, and we really don't ask Homer to do anything he doesn't want to do. He gets to do the jobs he wants to do and gets to come and go as he pleases. We don't ask him to do anything that makes him unhappy. And he might not anyway, he might just leave. We're just lucky to have him. So
Last time we checked it, they were out by like 1,500 pounds.
Yeah. That's not half bad.
No.
Not great. Could be worse. Guys, tell me a little bit about your farm story.
My farm story. Well, I don't know. I farm in Canada in southwestern Ontario. I owned a farm up there, not very big, 50 acres. Decided to sell it with good market prices and bought where it was cheap, I guess. Was kind of the idea, open a new chapter, try something different, and still running all my rented or leased ground up there as well. That's kind of the long and short of it. I worked with my dad up there and a couple neighbors up there, so we own some equipment together, and yeah, I go back and forth and I farm down here with Neil and farm up there with them.
So, like on those man on the streets, and people are asked where an egg or where does chocolate milk come from, and people are like, a brown cow, or they don't even know an egg came from a chicken. So there hadn't been enough work done in educating the urban consumer about where their food is grown or how it's produced. Be nice to be able to see programs in place where people were taught how to grow food, and that way if they needed the skill, that they would have some kind of rudimentary knowledge of it. It's 2 to 3 generations away from the farm, and nobody teaching them, and really they have no way to know. They weren't grown up in that type of environment, so we think it's funny, but it's really unfortunate for those people, and it's going to be detrimental if we ever get into a situation where we have to like source our own food because nobody's providing it for us. World War III. So Clayton was asking me about the X9 and why we decided to go with the X9 versus the S-Series, like what we've been running the last few years. And kind of our thinking of it was we're in need of a couple of new machines. Ours were starting to get a lot of hours of use on it, and the price tag of all these machines extremely expensive. And if we went with 2 7 Series, like 780s or 770s, like what we've been running, we were gonna have an exorbitant price tag, just like you would with this X9. But we're kind of limited on labor, and we were looking hard at it, and we just felt like that we could gain some efficiency with the X9 by only running one machine, having one operator, and just having all the logistics focused around the one machine. And so far it's performed admirably. I maybe have lost maybe a little bit of corn production an hour on small fields, but I think on the bigger fields we've been able to maintain pretty close what we were getting off the field with 2 machines. So we've saved a little bit of fuel. 2 machines were burning in the 30s an hour, where Clayton and I were looking at this one. This one's burning about 26 an hour, so saving 6 or 7 gallons of fuel an hour, and pretty much getting the same output that we were getting out of 2. And actually I think the truckers like it better because we don't have 2 wagons running down to them, making sure it's trying to keep 2 combines running. We just have 1 wagon with corn on it all the time, so the corn is not sitting on the wagon as long before it gets to the truck. It's running straight back and forth to the trucks and getting right on the truck. We can scale it easier because just with having one wagon operator dumping on the truck, he knows the exact weight. Once the truck's loaded, the guys can write their scale weight down and they can go ahead and dump the load. So we feel like we've maybe gained some efficiency, and it does, like when you hear about the X9 and what the cost of the machine, it's like a sticker shock, but when you put it next to two machines with 4 headers, it's that'll give you sticker shock as well. So that's kind of our thinking on the X9. Hopefully it'll work out for us in beans as well, where we don't end up having to add another machine during the season. So I guess time will tell on those. But all our this is like sandy loam soil, and it washed like a little road really bad. Our fines at the top just wash away if it's worked. So we're completely in the no-till system, and have been, like, this farm's probably been, you know, over 25 years in no-till, continuous no-till. So a lot of our farms are like that, 25 or 30 years in continuous no-till. So, soil into a wheat crop or into a fallow, and you know, and then it would get reworked again the next spring and planted, where you know, by probably 92 or 3, the plows were parked, and you know, the no-till drills came out. I mean, it was pretty much an overnight conversion of the entire state pretty well. I think most of Kentucky converted, you know, in that same time period into continuous no-till, and it's worked well for this state. If there isn't a problem on the dryer or whatever, it'll tell you, you know, what alarm it's given, like if it lost its airflow, or if it, you know, it's got the back door jammed or something where it has obstruction. It'll tell you that, so you know what you're going to look at when you get there. It's super handy. I think that was the best thing I've seen about the new technology in the dryers, is those ability to watch it from an app versus having to drive into the farm to actually look at it to see if it's still drying your corn or not. Before we had a Super Bee dryer. It's a great dryer. It lasted a long time, but just so many times a night you'd have to go out and check to make sure the machine's still running corn. Ultimately, if it's not, then you're shut down the whole next day. You're not able to combine. You just got to sit there and watch your dryer run. Nobody likes that. Especially the truckers.
Say it for the camera.
Yeah, so we found one problem with the X9. It puts a massive pile of fodder on the throat. And this is a continuous problem here, because we've ran the combine 4 or 5 days, and every day has been like this.